You are listening to a podcast of the Geek IO Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek IO holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Firing an arrow into a wall is hardly what I call impressive.
Oh, look at that. Literally the first time I've ever done. Just tell me of our quest, and I'll demonstrate my numerous indispensabilities.
Well, that's kind of a long story.
You've got my attention. I promise I won't even blink. I actually don't think I even can blink. Do I have eyelids?
This is the Geek IO Rant and Review with your hosts, CJ, Rachel, Raul, Gary, Josh, Jared, and everyone's favorite Aussie, Dale Campbell. This week, now another round as we rant and review Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yes, that's hello, friends. We're back.
Woohoo!
I missed you guys last week.
Hooray!
Yay!
Though I do have a knack for covering if we don't have a show going on. So I mean, there's that. I beat it. We beat it today. Knack, that is. So it's now just us like biting at our arms until we can afford the second one. But that's not what we're here for. That's Gamer Geeks, where we talk about anime and sometimes video games. This is the Geek IO Show, your podcaster playground, episode number 213. Our rant review of Kubo and the Two Strings, recorded the 21st of September, 2017. I am CJ Paper Mache all the way boat.
I'm Jared. That dragon's freaking me out. As a veto.
I'm Raul, fire-breathing chicken Garza.
I'm Rachel. Remember to be home before dark.
Oh, Dale's not here. I'm Carrie, creepy moon lady Wilcox.
And I'm Josh the Beetle.
Just the Beetle.
Just the Beetle. Just the Beetle. So
Beetles are all you need.
Yes, Beatles. So once again, we're talking Kubo and the Two Strings. I'm not gonna try. I should have thought about that before I started doing the thing. I suggested this because I felt bad about making us watch a bad movie last time, and I wanted us to watch a good movie.
Yay!
You enjoyed the last movie, and so did Josh.
Exactly. So this is on Netflix right now, and out on the DVDs and the digital spaces. This is, of course, a young boy named Kubo must locate a magical suit of armor worn by his late father in order to defeat a vengeful spirit from the past.
Dun, dun, dun.
For some reason, I thought this was released later in the year last year, but it was released August 19th, 2016, according to the show notes, which I did not put in there. So I don't know. But I distinctly remember it being like later in the year for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
looking
like winterish.
It might have went that long, but
Oh, this barely made anything in the theaters.
Which is dumb.
Yes,
And
it is
surprising.
absolutely.
That's a shame. Ooh, there's a new Murder on the Orient Express trailer. I shall have to watch it later.
huh. Okay, it came out the same weekend as War Dogs, Ben-Hur, The People vs. Fritz Baller, Hell or High Water.
I remember one of those movies. And that's just because the podcast that I was listening to all the time, well, the one podcaster that I was listening to wouldn't shut the hell up about Hell or High Water. So
See, that sounds like a you problem.
this movie had quite a bit of really strong performances in it. Art Parkinson played Kubo. Charlize Theron played Monkey. Ralph Fiennes played the Moon King, a.k.a. Voldemort.
Yeah, he was pretty much just Voldemort.
And Matthew McConaughey played Matthew McConaughey in a Beetle suit.
Yes.
Right.
He did.
All right.
Okay, We gotta say this right here. We will spoil the movie if you have not seen it.
Yeah, sorry. It's been a year, and it's
Okay.
on Netflix. So we're gonna talk about those, but we're gonna leave it
Yeah,
with
for
Monkey
real.
and Beetle in there for right now. The Skeleton Demon, based on Gasha Dakuro of Jackalese. I got through Gasha Dakuro, but I can't say the fucking word Japanese.
Gasha Odokuro.
Is the
Japanese.
largest stop-motion puppet to be built, standing over 16 feet tall.
I've seen video of this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, all of
It
them
is
are
incredible.
amazing. I saw a video of the puppetry, the faces that they have. For one facial expression is like 20 or 30 different. That expression in 20 different pieces that they've 3D
Right.
printed.
And speaking of, Kubo had over 48 million possible facial expressions with a total of 23,187 prototype faces that were created for him.
Criminy.
So, boom. During the beginning festival, Hanzo slices off the fire-breathing chicken's head. George Takei, voicing an elderly man, exclaims his signature catchphrase, "Oh my," upon witnessing this.
Yeah,
And-
didn't
Well, I
even-
mean, George
Did
Takei
anyone
wants
not-
to make sure that the cocks are being treated properly.
Exactly.
Did
Yeah.
anybody not notice that?
No, that was clear. He got high credits for his two
Yes, he
lines.
did.
Like he got
Well,
up
no,
in
no,
the
no,
credits.
He got that line, and then he got the explanation of the Lantern Festival.
Yeah, I guess, but still, that was real far up in the credits because I think he was in the credits before the old lady was, who was an active part of the story.
Well,
True.
he billed higher because I don't think he actually took a great deal of money to do the part, so he got the higher billing.
Probably not. George Takei doesn't do a lot of stuff like this for a ton of money anymore.
Exactly.
I could have
No,
sworn
he
he's
wants
been
the cultural representation.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not doubting this, but I could have sworn I'm probably Mandela affecting this. But Matthew McConaughey. This is Matthew McConaughey's first animated film.
Yeah.
Huh.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
that's surprising. How's he not got mixed up in some animation before?
He has a great
now.
animation voice.
Yes. Even though he doesn't really
He's a
change
much
it
better
much.
actor when it's only his voice.
Right?
He's fun. No, Matthew McConaughey now is fan-freaking-tastic.
For real.
Like-
Go watch
Ow,
the
yes.
first season of True Detective, and my God.
Yeah. he came out swinging. First season of True Detective. Freaking what was it? Gravity? No, Interstellar.
Oh, yeah.
He was amazing in Interstellar.
I
There's a
freaking loved
reason why
Interstellar.
he got. I think he got the Emmy for that one, or the Oscar for that one.
No, I got it for
I don't remember.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Ah, yeah.
Which
Well,
I
I
never
haven't seen
saw,
that
but
one,
I'm
so
that I
that
hear
one.
he's great in it.
Yeah, right.
He must be because he got an Oscar for it.
All right. If you must blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see and hear, no matter how unusual it may seem. And please be warned, if you fidget, if you look away, if you forget any part of what I tell you, even for an instant, then our hero will surely perish.
I'm
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
but
lie,
is
I was
the
expecting
story
you to
this
hold up your
time?
spinner at that second.
There. Josh claimed to be the Beetle, so you're up next.
All right.
Da-da-da-da-da. I have a question. If I'm Beetle and you're Monkey, why isn't he called Boy? Stealth is my middle name.
You don't even have a first name.
Don't you ever say anything encouraging?
I encourage you not to die.
I just wanted to. I'm glad Carrie picked up on that on being Monkey because I wanted to make.
Minky.
Man.
It was either going to be Carrie, not to be sexist, but it was either going to be Carrie or Rachel being Monkey, and I would have been happy to make fun of either one of them. I was jumping into Kubo regardless.
Kubo was happening.
Yes. Oh boy, you guys. All right. First half of the show, we talk about the production side of things.
This movie was a insane act of love for this median.
Yes.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
crap! Yes.
Because you could have done this whole story in just either 3D CGI or just animated easily.
Yep. Nope, but
Well,
they went full practical and
holy shit.
I did read that there was a little bit of CG touch-up with some of the facial work and hair work, but other than that, yeah, completely
Let's say.
practical.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like some like smoothing with CGI in between because
Oh yeah.
how did they get it that
I've
clean?
done stop motion and stuff like that animation
Holy
before,
crap.
and yeah, you need touch ups in between. Like, you're not everything is going to be perfect, and in today's world, you don't have to go back and do 2 or 3 hours on a single scene anymore. You can just be like, all right, cool, this is about as good as we're going to get. We'll do some minor touch ups on a computer.
And it was very minor. The few points that I can actually sit there with CJ and go,
Well, it took Josh reading that they did it for us to even realize that it was really even there. Like, that shows
Yeah.
you how good
It's
this
like, no,
Yeah.
I just the whole time I was like, well, sure, there has to be some computer animation in here. There has to be. There's no
Yeah.
way
Very
they
little.
pulled this
There's
off.
the CGI
Only the very
stuff-
finest touch.
Yeah, like
Slight
the
touch.
smoke, I believe, was CGI. Like
probably.
like the effects that I guess you couldn't use in a stop motion setting. Like anything
Yeah.
that was like, but like they in a featurette that I saw of it, they showed the a time lapse of them moving of the animators moving the puppets. And it's amazing watching these puppets move in real time.
Yes.
Kind of like, I mean, it's sped up, yes, but it's magical. How can I say it? I mean, it's amazing the amount of time and dedication you need to use this type of medium.
Oh,
media
absolutely.
To portray a story like this.
It is absolutely ludicrous on how they were able to do this, and this movie is kind of a masterclass on this kind of animation. Like, whereas you look at Toy Story as the pinnacle of computer generated animation, this, especially for puppet work is really freaking hard. Like, you take any other kind of stop motion animation and it takes a lot to do that, but when you don't even have active human puppets, like people in the puppet outfits, like you would have with like somebody in a Muppet outfit or something like that.
Yeah, it's just, and to have the amount of detail and motion.
Yes.
Oh, one character I knew was a pain. Monkey.
Oh yes.
All that fur.
As
All
soon
that
as
fur.
I saw her, it's just like, wow.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because love of the craft.
And that's just
Clearly.
it too, is
Bump
that's
the
just kind of the overarching theme of Leica to begin with, is just their dedication to preserving this art form so that it doesn't, die out in favor of CG.
And it's kind of, I mean, it's in there with the theme of the story as well. Like, you try and keep these things going so they don't die out. That's the entire point of the Lantern Festival. Surprisingly, this movie only cost $60 million to make.
That's
Probably
impressive. How long does it take them to do this?
I'm looking that up right now. Unfortunately, this movie has only grossed $48 million in the United States.
Oh, that's a shame.
The
How
tragedy.
to do overseas.
Worldwide is Seymour. Boop boop boo doo boo. Give me a worldwide. 69,491,144 total worldwide.
So more or
So
less
it
broke
barely-
even.
It barely broke even worldwide.
So
That is a tragedy.
yeah.
It really is. So that means we're probably never going to get anything else like this. I mean,
Every
obviously,
Everybody go buy a copy right now.
Right? Yeah, Kubo 2 would not really make a lot of sense.
No.
But anything like this would have been. It's a sad thing that we are not going to get anything like this again. This is the longest stop motion film to date, beating out Coraline in 2009 by 1 minute by Leica.
Yay!
Good on them.
The
Sure they
boats.
put that minute in there just to beat Coraline.
The boat sequence itself took 19 months to shoot.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Why would you do that? The boat was made out of driftwood and leaves.
It's all paper.
Yep.
I know, yeah. That
Everything's
theme
paper.
of paper was the entire movie. Though that's a little bit into our second half, but yeah. They did that with... I'm sorry. Visually, this movie was amazing. Because I always admire like hand drawing, stop motion, because it takes a lot of time and dedication.
Jesus.
And patience.
Absolutely. This is the lowest grossing film to be released by Leica, and it is the first Leica film to not make over $100 million. It's only made $73 million, sorry, according to the trivia on IMDb, so take that or leave it. So animation's obviously great. Editing is really strong. The next one that I wanted to touch on is the music on it.
Oh my god.
Oh. It was gorgeous. And just everything made absolute sense. The cover, Regina Spektor's cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps at the end was soul wrenching.
I love it.
I did not realize that was a John Lennon song.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
actually a
Beatles.
George Harrison song.
Okay. Yeah. Charlene's Theron's second animated film. It is possible that Beetle was meant to be from Osaka due to his Western American accent. English American dubs for animes like Azumanga Daioh.
Always go Western with Osaka dialect, yeah.
Yep. And Magical Shopping Arcade, Abibanashi, whatever. Have people from Osaka speak like they're from the American West. Oh man. So yeah, the fact that speaking of sound, the fact that they were able to keep up and make like foot noises and everything like that just meshed so flawlessly with this. And again, yes, you watch Coraline or any of the other Leica films, yes, you get that. But I in my opinion, this was them at the top of their game, to be completely honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yes.
the garden scene, the giant eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Holy! I mean, there's some parts in this
Nightmare
movie.
fuel for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. When you do a movie like this, they actually had to figure out how are we going to do it. There was no like blueprint on like how do we do this effect. Oh, look it up in the book, and this is how you do it. They
Yeah.
literally have to.
Reinvent it.
Yeah, they literally have to invent it.
This is Leica. They write the book on stop motion.
Exactly. Again, I mean, they're the Pixar of stop motion. Like, it is like you have not had craftsmen like this since Harryhausen, and even Harryhausen couldn't do a film to this scale without like live action people in it. I'm guessing the silence after if I say anything is because I'm lagging and it's catching up to people.
No.
No, it's just
We're all just sort of basking in the
all-
radiance of this movie.
I know. We all just love this movie. So it's
Yeah.
it
there's
takes a
nothing we
minute
can
to
say
really just
bad
sink in some
about
of
this
the
movie. There's
scope.
nothing-
Yeah. I mean, like we're
we have
saying,
nothing contrary to
visually,
say.
yeah, visually you can't really pick it apart. I mean, it's stop motion.
By the way, this is kind of the reason why we tend to lean more towards bad movies for written reviews, because then we can get like in it and have debates and stuff like that. Like, but and even when we go to like doing Marvel movies and stuff like that, we kind of go, well, yeah, it was great. We can't really say anything bad about it. Like, so
The only thing bad about Kubo is it didn't make enough money.
right? And it wasn't long enough. Like,
It wasn't long enough, and they didn't go any further into Japanese folklore with it, which I really felt was kind of a misstep.
yeah. But so if anybody wonders why we lean more towards bad movies, that's the reason. Bad movies are more fun to rip apart, you know.
Because we can't gripe about a good movie.
Exactly. Basking in the glory is fun and all, but you know, it's
But it's so pretty.
Unless
We all
we
agree.
like watch
There's
a
nobody
movie where we're
disagreeing.
like split on, like Cloverfield or something.
I can't watch Cloverfield. I've watched it a couple of times
Shaky cam.
exactly.
Oh.
I've gotten sick. So admittedly, yeah, like that kind of thing where it is like legitimately, I mean, from what I've read and seeing people like about it, it's a good movie. It's one of those movies that I can't really watch because of it being shaky cam, but a movie like that would be good, where it's a good movie, but like it's technically flawed.
Yeah, there's two people on the Cloverfield conversation. People who love it and then people who hate it. And I guess there's a third party that they can't watch it because of the shaky cam.
So there are three people
I
about
would be in that third category.
Either you
Yep.
love it or you hate
Same.
it, or it makes you nauseous.
I can't watch shaky cam at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it
And
just
it's worse in recent weeks.
it makes Jazz angry.
CJ had a game on, and it was doing that bob head thing, and I was like, okay, you
Yeah,
need to take that away.
I was streaming Danganronpa V3, and it goes into first person view, and they do annoying character bouncing, and I'm like, even I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. And Rachel looks at it, and goes, I can't watch this, and I go, well, oh, the bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the movie, all the sets, like the village, was practical.
Yep. It's so much into this. I mean, admittedly, like the sets for the most part, minus a couple of them, like the garden and such like that, they were kind of dialed back from the intricacies that you saw in movies like Coraline with the circus and everything like that.
Or the box trolls with the sweeping city.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not in a bad way, because this is feudal Japan. This is high fantasy Japan. You're not going to have sweeping village. You're not going to have sweeping cities. You're not going to have vast plateaus and, you know, thousands of people watching a circus. You're going to
But it also didn't really need massive sweeping sets either.
Exactly.
Because there was an elegance in the simplicity.
Yeah, oh, yes. Absolutely.
Which is very Japanese in and of itself.
Yeah. Trying to think here. Kind of weird. Factual errors. Kubo is trying to speak to his ancestors when using the lanterns. The light is behind him, yet there's also light shining directly into his eyes from a source in front of him.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, literally on the goofs on IMDb, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, when you're doing stop motion, I guess if you can only find like 4 or 5 like little minor nitpicks.
Yeah.
Because you could like really screw up by like, I
Oh yeah,
accidentally,
the margin for error is huge with stop motion.
because your arm can go from here, or an arm can go from here to over here in one scene without the. But man, think about it. We see what's our eyes at 30 frames or 26?
Yeah, it's like,
Around 30.
yeah.
So you have to move it incrementally, snap the shot
Yep. Oh yeah.
all the
No,
way here, so you can have a fluid motion.
in film school, I did a very simplistic claymation film, and like every single, like it is move the arm up a little bit, and because it's jarring if you do it if you move the arm up too much between your photographs. So it is, incrementally moving it up and making sure that nothing else changes in the scene that you're doing stuff in. Like you dink into somebody else's arm and accidentally move their arm up half an inch or anything along those lines. I did a I called it Notzilla because, copyright. But it was a monster film. And so I was dealing with a bunch of different things on screen at once. And me being, silly little film school student, I would bump into people and their arms would go flying. Or there was a couple of them that I accidentally just completely shoved over and didn't even realize them.
Or hell, you go to adjust an expression or an arm and whoops, there's a fingerprint on Kubo's arm.
Yeah. Like another one is when Kubo flies upward to return home, he is missing his sword. When he lands, his sword is at his side. Like that little thing. It's like, oops, I used the wrong puppet. My bad.
And I did like the effect that they did on the grandfather, on that glowing blue.
Oh yeah.
The celestial, I guess, aura
And
that he had.
And that works so well for him being otherworldly because everything is practical and suddenly here's a glowing guy.
Dale wants to watch a claymation movie.
I recommend Coraline.
Yeah, right. We can go back and watch another. We can go back and watch another Leica film with Coraline.
I mean, there's plenty out there. That's probably my favorite.
So let's see. They did Coraline. They did. Did they do Corpse Bride? So everything that's stop motion in the past 10, 15 years is them, right?
Yep.
Essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
If we're talking about major releases, yeah.
Kubo and the Two Strings, Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, Corpse Bride, the Moon Girl, Moonwalker they produced back in the 80s, and Dinosaurs, a fun-filled trip back in time. Was Leica Films produced. They went out on Moonwalker, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, from 1988 to 2005, where they put out 2 movies because apparently they hate themselves.
Like you do.
Or just had a bunch of interns that year.
Right?
I've
never seen Moon Girl movie, so I don't know if that is decent, but Corpse Bride was another one of those amazing stop motion breathtaking movies. Yeah, they don't put movies out quick. 2005 was Corpse Bride, Coraline 2009, Paranorman in 2012, Box Trolls in 14, and Kubo in 16.
Ooh, Coraline's on Netflix, Dale. Per tip.
Maybe. Coraline is a legit good movie.
It is a great movie. I mean, it's
So-
Neil Gaiman. What are you gonna do?
we might need to step back and watch a really shitty movie and then come back for Coraline to kind of get our mouth. That's a really good October rant and review.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, Coraline is kind of awesome. Either Coraline or Box Trolls for October.
Box Trolls was so good.
Box Trolls doesn't really have great.
It's so stupidly cute.
If Paranorman was on Netflix or Corpse Bride, both those would be really good October movies. But Coraline is legit there too. So I mean that's fair.
Or we could just go old school and do Beetlejuice.
Is that on Netflix?
I'm sorry, what?
Beetlejuice.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Corpse Bride is on Netflix.
Oh no.
Corpse Bride is on Netflix. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh man,
You could see Jack and Sally get married before Jack loses all of his bones.
Oh, I know what movie we can watch.
Skin.
And it'll be
What?
good. How many people here has seen the Death Note anime?
No.
No. Jazz, have you seen the Death Note anime?
No.
That was one of those things that I meant to have Dale and Rachel watch when he was here, but time just got away from us. I blame Nitro.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I would really like to see what someone like Jazz, who has never seen the anime, the 3 movies, or read the manga.
From what I've heard, people don't hate it.
They don't exactly like it either.
Well, yeah, like
No, the people who have no reference material to go on, they don't hate the movie. So
Yeah, I've heard that I've heard, I don't know because I haven't seen it and I don't really care about Death Note. I've heard that it's a meh movie and a shitty adaptation.
yes.
maybe we should rant and review that because I'm pretty sure we all have.
Do you want to die a slow death?
Live veto. We're having a live veto
What about
right here,
the
everyone.
do-over? I've been trying to get you guys to do the do-over for a year.
God damn it, no.
The Room.
So after the do-over, the 6 Adam Sandler movie deal that was going on just kind of faded out after the do-over. Like, I think they realized that maybe giving him the paycheck before his movies came out was a bad idea.
Yeah, they'd like to do that over.
God damn it, Dale, no.
Hey, I've got one vote right there.
I think we should make Raoul watch The Room.
Yeah. I mean,
actually,
on
Ruben,
his own, with a camera in his face while he's stuck watching it by himself.
And we're all in chat.
I do that. I do that. I volunteer as
I
tribute.
would sit and watch that 2 hours of hell just to watch him be twitching.
So I think we're all sold on doing the what was it, the
disaster artist.
Disaster artist.
Disaster Artist in December, which is the documentary about him and The Room. Like,
well, documentary.
I might be sick that week. I might need to go to bed early.
No, Rachel, John Travolta is right. John Travolta is Tommy Wiseau.
No,
No, it's
Franco.
Jason Franco or James Franco. Sorry.
Yeah,
and his brother.
And then
I might be
plays
sick
the
that week. Sorry.
And then Tommy Wiseau is actually in it playing somebody else.
Yes.
Carl or something like that. Yeah.
Or Mark, I don't know.
I love how we're talking about Kubo, except we're actually talking about The Room.
It's
I
not like
know.
that's again
There's
why
nothing
we
bad
watch
to say about Kubo.
exactly why we watch bad movies, because we can go on hour-and-a-half tangents about those movies. On this one, it's like, yeah, it's great. It's a masterwork. Like, and even Dale, like, works off of me is like not even here. So, like, final show of the year, yeah, the Disaster Artist, the final show of the year. That sounds great, actually.
I don't know if I want to watch The Room.
Oh, you poor baby.
Oh no, you should.
Okay, a friend of mine has it on DVD. I'll watch it.
Watch it, yeah. Watch it with them though, because I don't hate you that much. You should watch it with other people.
And alcohol.
Copious amounts of alcohol, because Carrie and I sat there stone cold fucking sober.
Oh, hi, Mark.
We had cookies.
Yeah, you guys got stoned off of cookies. Don't even.
I had
Wait,
3
what?
cookies. Don't even.
Sugar highs.
Cookies. Makes sense.
Oh, just sugar highs. Oh, okay.
All right, so then let's go ahead and wrap up the top half of the show here, and we'll get and talk more about the story and stuff like that, which I think might be a little bit of a better conversation than, hey, it was good.
Everything about the production was amazing.
Everything is awesome.
Oh, the Lego movie. You should watch the Lego movie.
I have not seen that movie yet.
The Lego movie on Netflix?
Blasphemer.
I
Is the
don't
Lego-
have. I had to borrow a kid to watch Inside Out.
Dude, you are a grown ass man. You get
Oh,
your
that's
ass in that
funny.
theater and watch that Lego movie like the bitch you are. I mean, like the grown man you are.
You can't just borrow other people's children.
That's called kidnapping.
Can't you?
I was going to say, some people would look at that as kidnapping. Others might look at that as pre-pedophilia.
Right, Jesus. Do a search on Netflix for Lego. Do we have Lego Ninjago, Lego Superheroes? I thought the Lego movie was on.
Oh, there's a new Lego series, but it's animated, not Lego people.
Yeah, it's not on here. Huh? Thought it was. Could have sworn it was. Weird. Oh well. Lego Friends. Happy birthday to you. Oh, So this movie is a very good hero story, right? We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's your typical hero's journey.
Yeah. So when I think of heroes, and when I stub my toe, I yell out Boku a lot because I do. I'm trying to stretch here. Jonathan Young has done a couple covers of Peace Sign and Singing to the Sky, which are opening 2 and 3 of My Hero Academia, and that's what we're playing back to back this week because they're real short songs. So the 2 songs are about the size of one normal song. Also, other than that, you're going to hear some ads from our sponsors. Stay tuned to our sponsors. Check them out. A little bit, comes back to us. We get some love back. It doesn't hurt you any. But aside from those ads, here's Jonathan Young with Peace Sign and Singing to the Sky. We'll be right back.
Remembering how the end may fly in the red. Looks so effortless, but I cannot guess why it lingers in my mind. Evening after this, I'm finding that something so good. Now my only wish, so I can finally have the victory, so I can reach right up to the sky. Physical fate, engraving, it's carved into the stone. Hoping it reveals itself all to me, and then I will know just where to go. This moment, I know that I can breathe. Hanging on a feeling, believing, not only reading. I hear a voice calling, saying music, asking if I have been going the distance. Bring the faith of passion that I cannot deny. My eyes are swollen with the tears, and I'm crying, but to the rest of the world, I'm smiling, singing for the courage that I'm dying so.
Where
inappropriate comments are made, and the kids go, "Oh, that's cute," and you're like, "Whoa!"
Exactly, with the monkey and the beetle waking up next to each other, she has just fucked hair. Like,
And the adults can pick up on the symbolism of the strings.
exactly. Like, yeah, this is me sacrifice. This is where my mother is going to die, and one of the strings breaks. Like,
No, don't do it.
and when he uses that magic, the parents and the adults just kind of go because they get that. The kids are like, "Oh, that's a really cool Kamehameha he just did."
He broke the string, but he got new strings.
Yes,
and then used his own string.
Oh,
So
I'm
now
trying to
he has
remember.
3 strings.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You
Okay.
go in the new strings.
I was trying to think of like where he got his father's string, but it's the bow.
Yeah, it's the bow. It's the bowstring.
But yeah,
and then at the end with the grandfather, the Moon King actually becoming the grandfather, and the village getting together and just, oh my god!
Yes,
And them all opening their arms and welcoming him.
This man who literally just tried to murder each and every one of them.
Yeah, well, it's not your typical. We kill the bad guy. No, we defeat the bad guy, but we bring him in.
Yes.
With
We
compassion.
display forgiveness.
Killing him with kindness.
Thanks, Jazz, for the 1 bit. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Yay, 1 bit.
It's the largest increment I have to give.
Hey, every bit helps.
Exactly.
Gotta start somewhere. I only have 10.
It really
I have
is the least
I have
of it.
9 now.
You have 9 bits now. Yeah, it's not, I have it so it won't spam chat whenever somebody just bit spams us. You have to do, I think, over 10 in order for it to get put anywhere other than in Streamlabs. No, it came up Mr. Destructoid 1. So that was the quote that came through.
You're welcome.
But it just, yeah, this show this movie gives you proper human emotion given through dolls.
Very expensive, meticulously placed and worked on, designed dolls.
But dolls nonetheless. And you felt for these damn dolls as the dolls died. Like,
right?
Twice in some cases.
Right?
Yeah, and like on the monkey's design on the face, where he had the scar on the other side.
Yeah, to try and throw you off, but consider you heard the voice just a couple seconds ago. Like,
yeah, as soon as I heard the voice, it's like, that's the mother, isn't it?
That one I think was tried to be less hidden than the father.
That was probably only hidden for the kiddies.
Yeah, that was
tricked by that one.
The father, I think, as soon as they introduced him, I think I had a feeling it was the. As soon as they introduced Beetle, I had a feeling that that's going to be the father, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because I mean the Beetle crest is on the back of
Kubo,
Kubo's clothing.
Even though he said he was a student of his, I'm like, no, he's not going to be a student. He's going to actually be Hanzo.
Yeah, that's storytelling. That's a trope in and of itself, and not at all that I have used that trope in Manipul at all. I don't know what you're talking about. But that's a trope, and the storyline in this, like the plot points are kind of tropey. Once you boil them down, like
the tropes don't always have to mean bad.
No. Exactly. Like it's a manual. Basically they kind of went by the books on the script. Even because, they were too busy inventing techniques for this movie to be filmed correctly. So they're like, script team's like, do the thing that everybody else does, and the grandpa's gonna be a good guy at the end, and the dad is gonna be the Beetle. Yeah, the Beetle. Yeah.
Okay, script's done. Now get back to moving the dolls.
Moving the dolls.
Right. Get back to moving the dolls. We have to move.
That script got pounded out in a couple of weeks, and then everybody else went back to filming 19 months on a goddamn boat.
Jeez.
It was one hell of a boat, though.
It is.
Awesome boat.
It's a really cool boat.
The whole boat sequence is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Because
the boat sequence really was great because of just it was kind of an anchoring point.
Yeah. Well,
you've got Monkey and Beetle bickering over how they should handle the situation, and Kubo, being the hero, is just like, hey, I got this.
Yeah. But he's also a kid, so it's like he says, I got this because it's, I guess I can maybe try and do this.
I can do this, right?
Probably. Literally the first time that I've ever done that. That would have been great for him to say that as he made the boat and just kind of looking at Beetle. That would have been that's something I would have added in there.
And I liked how they just didn't like, he can magically do this. No, they incremented his ability to where, like, look, in the beginning he was picked up by paper birds, so it makes sense that he could use a piece of cloth, wrap it around him, and fly like a dragon at the end.
Yep.
Because he was growing throughout the entire movie.
Yes, exactly. This child actually grew and evolved.
And to the point where he didn't need the armor. The process of getting the armor was the growth that he needed to defeat.
Exactly.
It goes back to the old trope of the power is not in what you have. The power is within yourself. You just have to find the right tools to open yourself up to accessing that power.
That's why they're MacGuffins. Like it's
the dragon scroll from Kung Fu Panda.
Yes, absolutely.
I love Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, those even the bad one, the third one is still pretty damn good.
Haven't seen the third one.
It's pretty damn good. It's the worst of the Kung Fu Panda films, but that being said, it's
But
better.
that's not saying much.
It's better than a lot of animation and literally anything else Jack Black has ever done.
The second one is the peacock. The
Fair.
third one is his family, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's really good. Like I said, that saying that it's the worst Kung Fu Panda film doesn't say like it's a bad movie. Yeah, it is nice to see. Dale hates Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, what?
In
Dale?
all caps, I hate Kung Fu Panda. I effing hate it. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So Dale,
Strong
tell
opinion.
us how you really feel.
Strong
I'm
opinion
waiting
on
for
Kung
him
Fu
to
Panda.
get on waiting for him to get on the hangout just to scream, "I fucking hate Kung Fu Panda," and then leave.
He'll do it.
He will. I might. Now that I've said it in approximately 2 minutes, when he hears this, he's gonna jump on it.
Or he'll just blast duck step and then leave.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I approve.
So, character
He's gonna
evolution,
think of the
especially
do-over
in
again.
movies, in family movies, isn't really the focus on anything. And even like only the mid bosses didn't get any kind of evolution because they didn't need evolution. They were already quote unquote perfect. They were made perfect by the grandpa. So they didn't need evolution. And literally every other character, even down to the villagers, had evolution in this. And that is something spectacular in a movie like this.
I mean, even Monkey had, from being the overbearing, well, not overbearing, overprotective.
Well, she goes from a mom who is held because her magic is running dry and everything like that, and her being a magical being, that pretty much means she's going to die. Going from that to a manifestation of a guardian, and then revealing herself and allowing herself to be weak around people again, is that in itself is character development.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to remember how, because you figure out that, the audience pretty much figures out, like, almost a good portion figures out when it's the same voice actress.
Yeah.
And then when she's fighting her sister, where I am strong, and then is it Beetle that she's talking to? That, like, why didn't you tell him that you're his mother?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Beetle. By the way, I want to point out the at least the animation on the sisters are really sick. Like, I freaking love the animation on the sisters.
Yes.
They're creepy.
They are, and it works so well.
Legitimately creepy. Like, they nailed that.
Yeah.
Like, I watched this. I was like, I wonder if my kids could handle this. And like the sisters came out. I was like, no, I don't think they're ready for this.
No.
Yeah, but like as soon as the moon came up, they were there.
Yep.
Bam.
Good mini bosses, like, definitely.
Yeah, they didn't have time to fuck around. They had a mission. Moon was up, get the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And they went for it.
Kubo.
Oh, so creepy.
Come out to play.
Grandfather loves being able to see you, but he would see you so much better with your other eye.
Oh, the reason for the blindness.
Yeah, the grandfather literally ripping Kubo's eye out. That is
some terrifying shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big thing in a kid movie.
Not
Yeah,
even
that part too.
The reason he wanted to blind Kubo.
Yeah, so he couldn't see humanity for what it was, to be able to.
So he couldn't see the beauty of the world around him.
Yeah.
To add a level of distance and coldness.
Yes. And the fact that nobody in the village hated him for it.
CJ,
Yes.
look at the Tito's on our paper.
Tito's on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Tito's on the paper. Nice, Dale. Nice.
Well played.
Okay, there he is. Sneaky, sneaky.
I know what movie we're gonna watch to welcome Dale back, right?
Right?
Kung Fu Panda 3 is on Netflix.
Nice, Josh. Dale is out being an old man, by the way. He hurt himself. So we wish him the speediest of recoveries. That's the reason why he's in the chat doing the chat monitor thing. If anybody else hops in there, and also he's kind of giving us points throughout the show because he's hurting really bad. So all of the healing waves, all of our energy goes to the Dale for a speedy recovery. But yeah, like in any lesser movie, the fact that he only had one eye would have made him an outcast, would have made him, because he'll put it in there in 2 minutes when we get to it. But before then, Rachel.
See, I guess I'm biased in this because one of the things that influences my Tito's a lot, especially if it's a movie that my kids can watch, is my kids' reaction to it. When I have almost 2 solid hours of my children staring at a TV screen, smiling silently,
Well,
and I
that
have
long.
to actually come out of the bedroom after going pee and go, where did they? Holy shit, they haven't moved. I ran to go pee and they didn't move.
Did you have to go
Normally they'd
over
be
and
up in my feet, going and grabbing a drink, nope, didn't move a fucking inch, didn't say a fucking word for almost 2 hours. This
they
is
were told right
probably
from the start.
First time I will do this,
Do
and
not
it
blink.
might be the last, knowing the movies that you guys want to watch lately. But I have to give this a 10. If only for the peace and quiet that I got to enjoy watching a movie with my children. And it wasn't just the first time we watched it. The second and third time that we watched it, because CJ and I watched it together, just to make sure that it was,
we always pass the kid test between Rachel and I, most of the time anyway. Movies like Wonder Woman, occasionally we'll just bring the kids sight unseen to the movie theaters. But because our kids
this
are...
was also a year ago. Aaron was in kindergarten, and it was one of those, okay, there's swords, there's weaponry. We didn't even bring him to any Marvel movies at this point. We introduced him after the fact because he handled this so well.
Because it's something you have to deal with kids.
So yes, I am. Holy shit! It's getting a 10.
So Dale gave this a 9. Very cute movie, kept my attention for 2 hours, and that's an achievement on its own.
Dale has a short attention span?
I bet you if we had watched this with Dale here, CJ, he would have sat with the kids quietly on the floor, and it would have been hysterical watching all three of them just lined up going,
didn't we watch it with Dale? We watched this with Dale.
Yeah,
we watched this.
Yeah, you were with us.
Hurricane Irma prep. We were prepping for Hurricane Irma, and we were like, we're probably going to lose power anyway, so Kubo.
That's right. Okay.
How about some Kubo?
You guys never lost power, right?
Nope. We did not.
Somehow.
We don't mention that on the podcast because Josh is going to come through the camera and start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we lost it for almost a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it was real bad. I'm glad that I was able to provide some kind of shelter here for Josh, Carey, and Dia.
Thank you.
I felt so bad. So next on the list, Raul.
Okay. So like I said, this movie could have been done CGI, animation. I don't think live action. No, not live action.
No, it wouldn't have worked with live action.
They could have tried. It would not have gone well.
No. Using this medium to portray this story is an act of love and dedication. Because it takes so much time, planning, and effort to get everything practical effects. There's a reason why why CGI took over practical effects, because they're cheaper and easier to do. A lot less manpower needed for a special effect than having to actually move an animatronic, the giant T-Rex from from Jurassic Park.
Yes.
That thing, the reason why it still holds up today is because it's, in most scenes, it is a practical effect. The raptors is a guy inside of it actually moving around all the eyes and all that. So, man, I just love it when a team, production company, puts so much effort into their movie to make it the best they can. And for that, I gotta give this a 10.
All right.
I mean, I can give it a little bit that the story was your typical hero's journey, but it didn't, like, in some hero's journey stories, at the very end they get like some kind of like, oh, I have ultimate power now and I defeat you. No, it showed a gradual growth.
Yeah.
Through the entire movie, and then it showed that yes, getting the armor was important, but not, the armor and the sword was important, but it wasn't important for the reason that you would think. It was the journey to get them that was important. That gave that opportunity to grow and to realize that you don't really need the armor. What you need is your true family.
Absolutely. Carrie.
Yeah, I mean, like Raul said, this was a labor of love. And we pointed out earlier in the episode that it only cost 60 some odd million dollars to make. One scene alone taking 19 months to film, and the number of people involved in making something like this. I mean, you guys can do the math. They were not making a ton of money on this. They were doing it because they wanted to.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The sheer craftsmanship and the storytelling, like, yeah, the story had a bunch of tropes in it, but that's not always a bad thing. I still enjoyed the story. And it was, even though there were tropes, it was well crafted, it was well paced. You followed from one act into the other smoothly. It wasn't jarring like a lot of movies are these days, where suddenly you're over here and then you're over here and then this thing is happening and you kind of have to string it together yourself. It unfolds before you in just this glorious masterwork of craftsmanship. And it feels train. It hits you to the core, not only with the technical mastery of it, but with real, genuine emotion. And that is the mark of good storytelling, tropes or no. So I got to give this a 10 too. Also, I will admit I am a little biased because it's based in Japanese folklore and kind of really dig that.
Yes.
Man. So much love. Yeah, I gotta give this movie mad props for the skill that it took to create it and the care with which it was put together. The story didn't engage me as much as I don't know why that was. I guess maybe the tropes. I just kind of saw things coming and so I didn't get engaged as much. But I still enjoyed it a whole bunch. So I can't give it a perfect 10, but I will give it 8.5 Tito's because it's a beautiful movie and everyone should see it.
Upper or lower?
Oh, upper, of course.
Joshy Boo.
I love this movie so much. I mean, it's no closely guarded secret or anything, you know, especially among people who know Carrie and I, that we both have a massive, massive love for Japan and its culture and its folklore and pretty much everything it produces.
We unite!
Laika just, again, they didn't do this movie to make boatloads and buckets of money or do things the easier way. They did it to preserve a traditional craft from their aspect that they love and in doing so, portrayed traditional crafts from, the source material, and, to kind of parallel / work with Carrie's point about everything, unfolding into this masterpiece. It's more that everything folded together perfectly. Every crease was tight, every line was perfect, and you're left with this grand sculpture of a thing that, yes, it started out with some very basic storytelling materials, your plain sheet of paper, so to speak. But everything from the way they handled it technically to the way they handled it with the storytelling and the characters is what makes it the beautiful, crafted, origami of a piece that it is. And I really can't find anything to fault with the movie for that, because it was just, it hits all the right buttons, even if they are, worn buttons by this point in time in terms of tropes. But, it doesn't skip a beat. It doesn't miss a note, music pun to go with the origami puns. It's beautiful, and it gives you the good kind of chills straight down your spine. It hits you with those feels. And even though it's not the picture perfect happy ending that you would expect for, a quote unquote kids movie, even though, again, we've clearly established that this is a family / all ages movie, it's still a good, satisfying, complete ending. And so, yeah, I'm on the 10 boat with this as well, because I love this movie. I'm going to, watch it until the next video format comes out. I'll find a copy of it on that video format. It's going to be shown to, whatever kids Carrie and I wind up eventually having. It's amazing.
Flesh stealing. I mean, what?
Wait, what? What's going on here?
All right. I put myself last because I have made no attempt to hide anything, any bit of my love for this. Again, Japanese culture, yes. Loving the craft, yes. The only thing that kind of pulled me back, and this might have been the 4th viewing, CJ, because, I mean, it's hard to go back and relive the first time you watch something and, kind of think about how you felt at that point when it was almost a year ago now. A lot of crap has happened this last year. So Dale has already put me as 11 in this spreadsheet.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that, Dale. You're not.
That's probably accurate.
I mean, all right, so film nerd me, check, loved it. Otaku / weeaboo me, check, loved it. Script hole finding me, trope loving, trope finding me, yeah, but that didn't even pull me down a half a point. I cannot fault this movie because of more love being put into the technical side of things. But like Carrie said, just because it's tropey doesn't make it bad. It just means that there was extra effort put other places. And I, as a content creator, can speak that speaks volumes to me. I don't know the writing staff, but like Josh said, or Carrie, or somebody said, obviously these people were not doing this for the money.
No,
so
I don't think so. It was all love.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ben Boat, Tug, bringing us to 9.6.
Is that a record?
I'm sorry to bring the average down, everyone.
There's always one. Dale, I'm looking at you with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Come on, 8.5. I thought that was still a very strong recommendation.
Absolutely.
I still think it's you being grumpy, but
I actually think this is our highest average.
Probably.
I think so. I'd say, hey, Dale, do the thing, but he's, hung up. So I'm going to pull this back. Hey, somebody, do my outro for me.
All right.
If I must.
Okay.
You can find us on Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, or Friday at 12 p.m. Aussie time. We're findable at geek-io.net/live, twitch.tv/geekio show, tune in at alphageekradio.com, channel 1, or on Diamond Club TV, or diamondclub.tv. If you want to get a hold of us, it's geekioshow at gmail.com, twitter.com/geekioshow, facebook.com/geekioshow, or you can pick up the phone and give us a call at the Geek Line at 727-489-4335. That would be 727-489-GEEK, G-E-E-K. And if you would be so kind as to remember to support us on patreon.com/geekio for a private Slack network with us, Master Feed, and so much more. Oh, and subscribe on twitch.tv.
Subscribe. If you've got Prime,
Because
it's free.
we can do that now.
Well,
subscribe.
Jared, what's next week?
Next week, we're doing the Winter Movie Smackdown auction, which means I need to do some work.
Oh no, Jazz has to work.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wah, wah, wah.
So
Jazz
are
has
all
to
of our
copy
participants
paste.
present?
Jazz has to copy paste the Raspberry Pi config.
No, nothing like that. I just got to make the spreadsheet so that I can run the import and pull in all that stuff. And then I gotta write a script for the intro.
Confirmed by a point, what is that, 0.10th? This movie has barely beat out our previous best movie, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Wow.
That had a 9.63. This has a 9.64.
There you go.
Nice.
That's
Thanks,
100th,
Jazz.
not a 10th.
100th, yeah.
Kubo and the two strings edging in front by 2 decimal places.
You can bump me up to a 9 if you
Wait,
have to.
is that one hero's journey bumping out another hero's journey?
Basically.
Yes.
More or less, yes.
All right. Things have been busy here on the Geek IO network in the past week.
Yeah, they have.
We had the realization that?
Yeah. Dell hates Kung Fu Panda and its opposite day. We are now affiliates on Twitch. Give us some cheer. Yay, cheer. But really, give us the bits. And of course, now you can use...
Nobody gets hurt.
You
Give
can
'em
use
dim
your
subs and
Amazon
dim
Prime.
bits.
If you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free. It would really help us out. New subs, if you don't use the Amazon Prime, are half off this month. Jeff Bezos eats the other half for the rest of the month of September.
September.
Man, that's kind of a pun I would make.
Right?
September.
CJ's been streaming a little bit more.
A little bit.
Sneak peek
So have I.
of Danganronpa
get a knack
Volume
for it.
3, Killing Harmony.
Wait, what did you call that?
Danganronpa?
There's no O in the beginning there. Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
Dangan.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa!
The Killing Teddy Bears.
Dragon rompers.
Yeah. Okay. Dragon Humper?
Dragon Hunters, yes.
No, that's a completely different
That's
game.
what I said.
Okay.
Let's get
Retro
Dragon Humper.
streaming of Earthworm Jim, which CJ just like, I don't know what he did to that game. He just threw it
Second
across the
level
room.
beat me. The second level beat me on fucking Earthworm Jim. Fuck that game. Fuck everything about it.
Which is
I
that one?
suck at that.
Is that the
It's so
anthill one
hard.
or the termite mound?
No, that's hell.
Oh, and
Shrek.
Super Mario All Stars and Knack and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
It's almost like next week I'm not going to be able to stream as much, so I've been putting a bunch of stuff into this week.
Yep.
Oh boy! All right, we got some show title candidates.
Okay,
Yes.
let's see what we've said throughout this.
Okay. So we have
All right, Jared.
Playing with Moobot, Greg, Jackanese, Only the Voice, Pixar of Stop Motion, Oh the Bounce, Not Zilla, You Can't Just Borrow Other People's Children. I was gonna be super racist. Fangirling Over Dale, Dale and Raoul Hugging Corner, Because We're Not Watching the Fucking Do-Over, We Are Monkey and Beetle, Doing It Monkey Style, Kubo and the New Strings, Moving the Dolls, 19 Months on a Goddamn Boat, Dale Hates Kung Fu Panda, You Don't Burn the Bard as a Witch, Adopt Marrying Voldemort, and someone put Dale Hates Kung Fu Panda a second time.
Rachel and I are biased on the show title.
No,
Oh, I get it.
no,
Yeah.
not biased. Just I can't fathom 19 months on a goddamn boat.
Yeah, Rachel and I are not at all biased.
Oh god.
All right, you guys. So, thank you, Internet, for holding out the entire week or the entire night. I really appreciate it. Don't worry, it'll fail on Monday when we do small screen spoiler show next.
Absolutely, it will.
All right. Oh yeah, by the way, that got up on the YouTubes and the Twitch. So yeah, that
Yeah.
happened.
It's
You
there.
guys, we made Dale sad.
Oh. Why do we make Dale sad? Dale has nothing. Oh, I know.
Dale.
Dale has
can vote.
everything.
You can still
Dale has
vote, though.
fangirls. All of the fangirls.
Duh.
They jack it to him.
It's true.
And now
On
they
his
can
Twitch
fix
stream.
him.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We will see you right back here
Just
next. Also, it'll be a just remember, it's like the rest of our auction SmackDown auction shows. It'll be a long one, you guys. 30 movies, 6 competitors. One's gonna come out the winner. We will see you next week. Bye.
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 Ah, it's like Dell was here the whole time.
Well, I mean, he was.
Production. Copyright
Pretty much was.
2017.
We kept our chat room active.